I love Kirstie Alley. I have done since I was about 5 years old when I watched It Takes Two and Toothless, and it's my mission to watch everything she has done. But there are a few of her films that are a little harder to find than others, and one of those films is a film called Prince of Bel Air. Needless to say, when you Google this film, you get a TV show with a very similar name. And I've been wanting to watch this for a while, and it was impossible to find. And then out of nowhere, it appeared on Amazon Prime, or rather, Amazon Video. It's not free on Prime. I did have to pay $2.49 to rent it. Was it worth the wait, and was it worth the money? The short answer to that question is not really. I'm pleased I've seen it, and because, as I said, it's my mission to watch everything Kirstie Alley has done, I don't mind having paid for it. But at the same time, it definitely was not worth the wait, and I can kind of understand why it's maybe not that readily available. This was released originally in 1986. It's directed by Charles Braverman, written by Marc, Reid, Rubel, and Dori Pierson. And Kirstie Alley plays a character called Jamie alongside Marc Harmon, who plays a character called Robin. Robin is our protagonist. And I actually love the one sentence description for this on IMDb because it sums it up pretty perfectly without spoiling anything. And I won't give any spoilers in this discussion, just in case you want to watch it. On the surface, I don't recommend it, but if you're a fan of Kirstie Alley or Marc Harmon or the director, or if there's any reason that's pulling you towards it, I recommend it with that regard because it's not a bad film. It's not an awful film. It wasn't very good, if you know what I mean. But the one sentence from IMDb says, "A free-spirited, womanizing LA pool cleaner finds his lifestyle challenged by a new love interest." This pool cleaner is Robin, Marc Harmon's character, and it starts off with him being, as the description suggests, a womanizer. But then he meets Jamie, and he realizes for the first time that maybe there's more to this love business than just sleeping around with different women. And it begins to change his perception on things and the way he behaves. And needless to say, it's not a very straightforward journey. I was emotionally invested in their relationship enough to want to know what happened, to see how it would conclude. I would say it's not wholly predictable. Credit where it's due, there are things in the film that I maybe hadn't expected to happen, which kept it a little bit interesting. But honestly, I feel like Jamie wasn't in it enough as a character. And I don't think I'm just saying that as a Kirstie Alley fan. From a more analytical perspective, looking at the film with less bias, if that's possible, I don't feel like the relationship was shown enough. And that meant that certain things in the narrative weren't as effective as they could have been because we didn't have enough build-up. I did like Justin as a character. He's played by Patrick Labyorteaux. I apologise if I've mispronounced that. I almost definitely have. But Justin as a character I really liked. Whenever he was on screen, there was something about the character that just made me smile. And Robin as a character is actually quite likeable. And Jamie I like because it's Kirstie Alley, and I'm aware that I am biased with that. If I try and pinpoint things that are specifically bad about the film, I would say that some of the pacing is not very great. As I said, Jamie as a character I feel like just isn't in it enough for us to truly grasp how this relationship is developing and why Robin feels certain things about her. But there's nothing about the film that I would say is horrific. Some of the dialogue actually was really nice. Some of the dialogue, particularly things that Jamie said, I found rather entertaining, or at least pleasant. So there are a few good things about the film. There's nothing that is fundamentally terrible, but generally it's a very much an okay film. And this seems to be a pretty common response. It's got 5.6 out of 10 across just under 600 reviews and ratings, so it's not the most loved, but again, it's not exactly hated. If there is anything about this film that you want to see it for, cast, director, anything like that, then give it a go. It's not terrible. But if you don't really care about any of the cast and you're not bothered about the director's work or anything else, don't put it to the top of your to-watch list. Let's put it that way.